the new financial system without the Federal Reserve running the show.
So a big part of like laying the groundwork for that is getting ourselves into a sound money situation. And with that, we mean like benchmarking our currency against assets that are tangible and that their value is that there's not volatility, right? So one of the new backing for our currency is going to be a thing called Ripple, a cryptocurrency called Ripple. And that's going to underpin kind of the global financial system moving forward. So Ripple is a cryptocurrency, but it's essentially a mechanism for moving money instantly and large scale in between banks. It's going to replace the SWIFT wire transfer network. And one of the things that the SWIFT network does, the reasons it's had so much staying power is because it is like a power mechanism, right? So the biggest banks are the ones that actually move the money to each other. And all the small banks, they have to like get on board with one of the bigger banks and pay the fees to do that. So the SWIFT system essentially centralizes all the power in the banking system towards a few giants at the top and makes everybody else reliant on that. Whereas this new system is going to be bank to bank, instant liquidity, crowdsourced liquidity through the crypto markets. And it's really going to be a great, it's not going to be a $30, might take a day to get there sort of a deal. It's going to be an instant transfer, and it's going to be a secure facilitation of the money moving systems of tomorrow. And that's a big deal too, because when we benchmark our currency to things with tangible values, right, with Ripple, there's a certain amount and there's never going to be any more. Whereas, with gold, so one of the things that a lot of people are pushing right now is the idea of going back to a gold standard. And that, on its face sounds like, we want real things to be back in our money. But the truth is, as we move out into space, or as we have these very profound advancements in material sciences, the supply of gold could dramatically increase very quickly, right? We could go out into space, we could find an entire asteroid full of gold. So benchmarking our currency to something that, the supply of it could, who knows what that's going to be in 20 years and 40 years, would create a lot of volatility for regular people. So we want to be moving to an ecosystem of cryptocurrencies that are, decentralized in their control for the most part. Obviously, Ripple is a company, so they're probably the exception to that. But we want to be having a decentralized ecosystem of currencies that can't be, you can't just print a million more of those tomorrow if you're a government. And that happens a lot in our government. I think the most extreme example was like that Zimbabwe situation where they were having such bad hyperinflation. They were printing those like $100 trillion bills. I got to get me one of those. It's always, So just, we have that same kind of situation going on in the United States, right? Where our government wants to wage war against everyone all the time, and that's an expensive proposition. So they intentionally shoot for these 2% inflation rates, right, to intentionally devalue our money by 2% every year, and they act like, oh, we're doing that for your benefit, but really it's to deflate the value of their debt, right, so they can keep borrowing,
borrow more.
So we got to cut that out. We got to stop shooting to be deflating or inflating the money. We got to benchmark our currency to sound instruments, and we got to create this decentralized ecosystem of digital currencies that put the people in charge of the money instead of these really corrupt governments in charge of the money supply.